Grady Powell, host of Forged in Fire.
Kyle Mann.
I'm Jay Warner Wallace.
Kira Davis.
It's Ben Adams. Hey, this is Dave Baker.
Carrie Pomeroli.
This is Mike Reiner.
This is Ethan Nicole.
This is Liam Morgan.
This is Graham Parker, the 50GP, and this is why you should never.
How I got suckered in.
I'm so embarrassed that I'm here.
You're wasting your time. You got better things to do.
Never listen.
Those darling, yummy Reverend and the Reprobate.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Reverend and the Reprobate podcast. My name is Lucas Pinkert. I'm an actual Reverend, and here with me always is a man who dips his sandwiches in au jus.
Oh man, as much as possible.
It's the Reprobate. Dan Gibson,
Yeah.
what's up, buddy?
We just had Thanksgiving. It was a wonderful time. I did get an update from my mom in prison that
how's she doing?
They had a rough Thanksgiving because she got into it with another inmate about.
She didn't get the good part of the wishbone?
No, there was a discussion over whether gluten was a real thing.
Okay, so this is an interesting prison debate. And what I have heard is this has to do so often with the ethnic gangs that are in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah. That certain of the ethnic gangs believe that gluten is not a thing, according to their ancestry.
In this case, it was the Asians. It was the Asian gang.
Yes.
That got into it with my mom, and it got nasty, man.
No doubt.
You know, tables were turned.
What side?
Toilet wine was spilt.
What I really want to know is... I want to know, when Granny went to go visit your mom in prison, what side of the argument did Granny fall on?
Granny has a gluten insensitivity.
Insensitivity?
Yes.
Or a gluten
sensitivity?
sensitivity? Yeah, because if she was like insensitive to gluten, it means she's like calling gluten names.
So this is really how it started. Is when she visited, my mom had prepared a couple of items that were gluten-free.
Right.
And started a riot.
At the prison.
Yes.
Because some of the inmates think that...
Because the Asian gangs didn't like it.
And everybody at your family...
So everything's okay.
Right.
But it was a rough go there.
The inmates tried to run the asylum whenever gluten-free was mentioned. But you know, this is one of those things that this has been a long time coming. And she knew. She knew it was coming.
She knew it was going to happen.
Today on the show, we have the fabulously talented comedian Isaac Witty.
Wickedly talented.
Yes, Isaac is. He's got a dry bar special that's coming out in the early part of 2023. He's going on tour with his soon-to-be wife, Kristen Weber Witty. She's not going to have to change her initials. That's going to be nice. So all her monogrammed cups that she's gotten over the last several years will be,
because a lot of girls, they write the initial they write down ahead of time, and hers doesn't change. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, Isaac reveals to us Kristen's age in this podcast, and I think
that was a mistake.
As long as she's written those initials, it'll probably be nice just to keep on keeping on with that. So he talks to us a little bit about his comedy career, which hit a wall whenever he kind of hit rock bottom with addiction, and how not only has God helped him out of that, but also that on the other side of that, he's seen a lot of success as a comedian. Talks to us about being a bus driver and the experiences that a bus driver has when the kids give you, let's say, a little respect and a little flack. Yeah.
It blew me out of the water. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, no, not at all. What we didn't get into, though, is I didn't get to ask him questions that I had about the Barney documentary that I've been watching.
Yeah, I know.
On Peacock.
I tried.
But
I asked him what he thought about Barney.
Yeah, you
guys
hopped into it. You hopped into it early. That's all that.
That's
and
it.
Next, hey,
Let's
make
go.
sure that you like, subscribe,
Let's go.
ding the little bell.
I've got a sandwich.
So that
the dingle bells, go watch the show.
Yeah, like, subscribe,
I've got a
hit
French
all
dip.
hit and click all those buttons down there. Thank you guys for watching the show, and without any further ado,
Isaac Witty. IsaacWitty.net.
Hey everybody, and sweet clean whip on our airwaves today is a man who has made balding cool again, because now it's an activity with which you can multitask. It's the fabulous, the talented, the very about to be married, Isaac Witty. What's going on, man?
Hey guys, how are you?
Old and fat.
Gross.
You're telling me.
Gross.
I do want to know, how do you multitask while balding? What is that?
Well, you haven't seen my hilarious bit, apparently.
No.
No, the only bit Danley has is wearing sunglasses inside.
I'm going to be wearing sunglasses today for at least a little while.
Did you guys know that today's a significant day for me?
Why? What is
Because
it?
this
It's
day
it's my birthday.
in
No way.
1981. Is
Well,
it 81?
no.
No, is it sooner or later?
I'll do that. I'm 47 years old. So what year is
Okay,
that?
so that's 75.
There you go.
Well, according to
Right.
Patton Oswalt, I don't owe you a birthday party, but I can give you a happy birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you've heard his bit, but he's got a whole deal on when you get birthdays, birthday parties. It's fantastic. Check it out. It's every 10 years after the age of 20, unless something significant happens. Like 21, significant year, you get a birthday party. Outside of that, it's every 10 years until you turn 90. Then you get one every year after that because you've survived, and you get a new superpower. Like when you turn 100, I think it's 100, you get to legally kill somebody with your own hands. If you can get killed by a man that's 100 years old with your own hands, it's legal.
I don't think that holds up. So anyway, happy birthday, Isaac.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Isaac is 10 years older than us.
Oh.
To the year.
So-
That's how I was able to do that math so
much
quick.
Wisdom.
Yeah.
So what do you think about Barney?
Oh my gosh.
Think about what?
Okay, so you were talking about in your comedy special how balding is multitasking.
Sure.
Yeah. So please explain that to Danley.
Well, the joke is that I'm balding, which means I'm never. Man, I'm never not used to doing it under these circumstances. I'm not. It's like I'm always doing something.
And balding? at the
No,
same
but,
time?
no, because he's balding,
Yeah.
he's always doing something because it's an ongoing process.
I got it.
Like
Yeah,
I'm thinning.
multitasking. It's an ongoing thing that I'm always doing. Yeah.
I mean,
That's
we
the
both.
joke.
No, I understand because we both are thinning,
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm thinning.
and we're gonna have
hard.
abs by Christmas 2025.
This is what people are so shocked whenever they see me without a hat on, especially since everyone's taller than I am. They're like, "Hey, you're losing a little up top." I'm like, "Yeah, that's why I wear a trucker hat like 90% of the time." That and I want to look like Wish.com Dusty Slay. So those two things are working well together.
So not only do we owe you a happy birthday, we
Yes.
also owe you congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
getting engaged and soon to be married to the wonderful, talented Kristen Weber.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is
So you guys know my fiance.
Ish.
Yes. We
Okay.
we have
All
hung
right, yeah.
out, and she's given me a soda, hamburger, hot dog, and
She introduced us to Squirt.
yeah. We went to her parents' house.
The carbonated beverage?
I had
Yes.
never
yeah,
had it.
Danley had never had a Squirt.
And she said, "Do you want one?" I was like, "What is that?" She said, "It's great," and I tasted it. Oh my goodness, I've been missing out for so long.
Yeah. Mr. Kristen Weber Sr., the dad.
Yeah, yeah, made us
yeah.
hamburgers.
Ron?
Yes,
Yeah.
Ron. Yes.
Yeah, he made us hamburgers.
He made us
and-
hamburgers
and,
and,
lit a bonfire in their backyard. And it was a lot of fun.
We made s'mores and had some Squirt. It was
It's so weird because all she ever drinks around me is water. Like,
I'm pretty sure this was Ron's Squirt.
okay, that'd make a lot of sense.
What,
Yeah.
what you need to know is before you get married, women do some different things. And then
around
when you get
different
married,
companies,
she's
they
going
do
to start
different
chugging soda. Right now, she's in cutting. She's in a cutting
She's
phase.
in cutting phase?
Yeah, to fit into whatever dress that she's gotten.
Okay. And then after that, it's all...
It's going to be chugging Squirt.
It's all just Domino's and Coca-Cola.
Yeah, and,
Okay.
and hamburgers.
All right. Well, I want some distance from that. So, Well, congratulations.
Congratulations. She's wonderful.
So when Kristen was talking to us, she was like, "Hey, we're because we interviewed her last year,
Yeah.
and we really leaned into her joke about the pants." Where she's had a pair of man's
yeah,
pants
yeah.
just at the foot of the bed, and so we had several pants-related questions for you, but we thought, man, maybe that's pandering. We just wanted to know inseam. What do you got? What are you, like a 32, 36? How tall are you?
I'm 36, 32.
Okay,
Yes.
nice.
Yeah.
So you're in better shape than I am.
Yeah,
That's for dang sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was it you asked me? 32 236? That would be someone very tall and skinny.
You would be. You appear tall and skinny in your specials.
Look, he just screwed that up is what happened.
No, that's not it. Because I'm a 32 and I'm 5'8". I just have no torso. Like my ribs could sit right on top of my hips. That'd be fine.
Right.
I'm built like if Willow was given stilts.
Good topical.
There's not enough Willow references in podcasts today.
Yeah, but there will be soon.
By the way, did anyone see it? It came out. It just came out.
I did not, but our friends on the Tatooine Sons were on the red carpet.
So
yesterday.
there's a new series that's out. Willow. It just came out. They series streaming on Disney Plus.
Yep.
Refeaturing Warwick Davis as the lead.
So were you a Willow fan?
Same guy?
Yeah.
Was he the guy in that Ricky Gervais?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. The Idiot Abroad.
Yeah.
That one scene with Liam Neeson on that series is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. When they do the improv scene, have you seen that?
No.
Oh, okay. No, that's not Idiot Abroad.
It is. It's the last season of Idiot Abroad because it's Carl and Warwick.
But he wasn't with Liam Neeson.
No, I'm talking about
Life's Too Short.
Life is Too Short is what I'm talking about. And Liam Neeson is in an episode where Liam Neeson thinks he's funny and he wants to do improv.
Yeah.
But
What? It's scripted.
All of the improv he wants to do is about like AIDS and cancer. It's one of the you got to look it up on YouTube. It's one of the funniest scenes.
That's super
I've ever
dark.
seen.
That's hilarious.
It's really really dark. And they're like, I don't know if anyone wants to see a comedy about cancer. And he's like, why? And then he just keeps getting darker and darker. It's really really funny.
Wow. All right, I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah, life's too short.
Life's too short. Well,
life's too short.
Getting back to the topics at hand, happy birthday and congratulations for the third time on getting married. I know that's happening here in just a few months, and then you guys have a comedy tour that's going to be following that up. The How to Fix Your Marriage tour. So before we hop into some of the stuff about that, talk to us about the origins.
Wedding registry.
I want to know the genesis of the tour, and then we'll get into nitty gritties about the wedding. Yeah.
Well, we both were. See, she's 38.
Oh,
and
goodness.
I'm 47, and we pretty much both decided we were never going to get married, and we met each other.
And then what? You just caved?
Yeah, I was pretty much giving up on that. we went to the Christian Comedian Conference.
The CCA
in Indianapolis. The CCA. Are you familiar?
We are familiar. Yeah, they will not grant us admittance because
I'm already married, so I didn't.
We're a comedy podcast, but we're not comedians, so we've been rejected in the Facebook group.
Oh, really?
Yeah, legitimately. I applied. I was like, we could join this. And they're like, no, you guys have a comedy podcast, but you're not comedians. You don't do stand-up. Rejected.
Hey, Isaac, would you endorse us?
Oh, yeah. You guys,
we're in.
All right, we're in. We're in. We got another endorsement.
We're in.
All right, great. So you guys met at the CCA.
Yeah. So we met at the CCA, and it was nothing really. There was nothing really amazing. I was interested in her.
Right.
When I first met her, and
until you saw that daggum accordion.
There was maybe the smallest of a spark, and to the point where she said something like, we found out that we lived like 30 minutes from each other,
right,
in Atlanta, and she mentioned that she goes to this small group all the time, and I was like, I'm interested in that small group, and so.
If you'll be there.
So we started, so I was like, I'm doing a comedy club in Minneapolis after this. And then after that, I'm going to be gone for about a month, but I'll call you or text you when I get back in town.
Nice.
And she says now that when I gave her my number, she erased my number because she assumed I would never call or she would never hear from me after that.
That's just terrible.
That's all kinds of messed up.
Yeah.
I did a week at Acme in Minneapolis, and then I stayed for, I think, a week and a half after that. And I just really felt like I need to get home.
Yeah.
And I just had this real strong thing. Like, I don't want to be in Minneapolis. I want to get back to Atlanta. And I went back to Atlanta and I texted her and she was like, yeah, it's this Saturday. And I went with her and I think we went twice. And then we started going to open mics together in Atlanta. And there was a time when I was like, I think this is going somewhere. And then she mentioned, right when I said that, she mentioned something like, so do you think you're going to get in on the Christian dating scene in Atlanta?
Oh.
And I was like, oh, okay, this is not what I thought it was at all. And
that was a defensive strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as an older, like I didn't get married until I was in my middle 30s. That was one of the things that I would do in order to gauge the waters with somebody new. I'd be like, oh yeah, so you on Plenty of Fish,
yeah,
and just like kind of see where they were at to let them know, like, hey, if you're gonna break my heart, do it now. Before our next open mic?
What's the Jewish dating app called?
I don't know. I'm not touching that, Kanye. Isaac, please continue your story before Danley gets us canceled.
It was a simple question.
So we, I mean, at that point, when she asked me that, I was like, oh gosh, I thought we already were I thought that's where this was going.
Right.
And then I was like, I guess this is not where it's going at all. But we kept texting and we kept, I think I went to a small group with her again, and maybe we went to another open mic. And then we went on this trip to, went to this dumb show to Taqueria in South Carolina. And we started talking about theology and I don't know, like it was really a really good conversation.
Yeah, that's a heavy conversation too. Super
heavy. Yeah. We talked about Esther and Ecclesiastes a lot. And it was really fun to talk to her. And that's in my mind where I was really, really interested in this girl. And, but then she had brought that up, but then things just kept going this way and that way to the point where then eventually I just said, we were about to go somewhere. And while we were putting our shoes on, I go, I need to ask you something. We're dating, right? That's how I phrased it. and she goes, yeah, I think we are. And that's how we started.
That's awesome.
That's called the what is the assumptive close?
Yeah, that is the assumptive close.
I'm assuming we're dating at this point, correct?
Yeah, and I think that's the only kind of close you can use with a homeschooled accordion player that walks around in her jujitsu gi
without shoes.
Without shoes. So you guys you start dating, and I know that everything was really quiet at first, and then being that you were both single and like you did a lot of your
ready to Christian mingle.
Ready to Christian mingle, yeah. But you guys did a lot of your comedy that was based around your singleness. So as soon as you start like dating, this, at least my experience was, as soon as somebody found out that I was dating, they were like, "Oh, you're gonna marry this person." I just know it. And I'm like, well, let's just tap the brakes here, right? I don't even know whether or not she eats fish, so let's do it. We're not gonna get married yet. So, what was there like immediate pressure once you guys started to tell people, or were you like, did you wait until you were pretty certain, like, hey, this is gonna be the person before you started to break the news to folks?
Gosh, I don't know. There's something about being older. And just, I don't know. It sounds weird to say, but there's just something to being older and ready for a relationship. And like,
agreed.
I don't know, more mature than you once were. I don't know. Like when there's something too when you're ready, and when you know. And as soon as we started dating, like we really, really, really hit it off instantly, awesome. To the point where. I don't blame some people. They were like, this maybe is too fast, but we didn't ever feel that way. We didn't ever feel like we were rushing each other at all. We would constantly ask each other, like, do you feel rushed? Am I rushing you? I don't feel rushed. And it was always like that. But it was probably about, I don't know. Yeah, there was, whenever we put it on Facebook that we were dating, there was a lot of like, wow, people are really excited. Christian people really think we're going to get married. Our church friends really think this is a big deal that we're official on Facebook.
That's the craziest thing to me.
So are we going to get married or what?
Yeah.
So are we getting married?
Nope.
Is that what's happening?
Nope. So, but there is a lot of caution whenever you've been single for a while that people are like, "Oh, you're going too fast. You're moving too quick." I know when Kirsten and I started dating to when we got married was 13 months, and originally because we're 12,
ours was 12 months exactly.
Well, so I was 34 and I was 33. She'd just turned 20.
Yeah.
When we started dating, and now
it was 34 and 20.
Yeah, so we're right at like 12 and a half years apart. However that math works.
Okay.
33 and 20. So we're right at 12 and a half years apart, and that was the first thing that people would say is they were like, "Oh, this is too much of an age gap." They're like, you need to be careful because like he's an older, experienced man. I'm like, hold on just a second. I don't know what that's supposed to imply, but I think it's different.
You've seen war.
Yeah, I've seen war. I've been through one long distance relationship. So, so like that's all. One of those things that we've talked with a few other guests on the show about it, that as soon as a person who has like been an established single starts dating somebody, like the pressure from the Christian community is like, oh, you got to get married. This is the one. And they're so excited for you that it feels like it's like this extra added pressure on top of you. Did you guys experience any of that?
It's really like we on our own were so interested in each other that I didn't really feel that. I didn't really feel pressured. She says she didn't really feel pressured. We kind of just were looking at each other. We didn't really look at other people. I did think it was because I had my encounter with God only about 4 years ago. So
yeah.
I still consider myself to be like relatively new to church. And the ways, because I was, big time drug user for a long time away from God. But, yeah, I guess it was my first relationship in the church, so it was a little new to me,
right?
And but I didn't really feel pressured or anything like that. I was just surprised at how excited everyone was.
Oh yeah,
How was your journey from from being a heavy drug user into turning around?
It was like pretty instant. It was like I hit rock bottom. I was heavy. I was for like 2017, early in 2017, I smoked meth for my first time.
Whoa.
And I'd been a big time cokehead before that. And I'd gotten into Adderall before that. So for about 15, 20 years, I was in varying degrees of addiction.
Yeah.
And, I did great sometimes. My career did great sometimes when I was a big cokehead, but until it didn't. And so one time, so here's in a nutshell. I was in a car, and I was at a place where I had no place to go. I was out of money. I had no other place to go. I heard a news story on the radio, and it was something about kids being hurt or something like that. I don't know what that story was about, but I was so mad at God at the time. Out loud, I said, how the F could you let that happen? I said that. I guess that was a prayer. I used the F word in my prayer. But God met me where I was at. As soon as I went to God with all that aggression and anger, all I was returned with was like peace, forgiveness. It was showered with forgiveness and grace. And there was something about that moment. It changed my life. And I gave my heart to God right then and there.
That's
and
awesome.
It was like an instant. I was going this way, and then all of a sudden I'm going that way type of thing. And I understand most people don't have that type of story, but it was a dramatic change for me.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I think most people don't, but I think most people can relate. I can to having angry conversations with God.
Oh, for sure.
About, I don't understand why this is happening, and I'm really frustrated, and I'm angry with you,
Yeah.
I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah, we run a Celebrate Recovery program out of our church, and this is one of the things, because Celebrate Recovery covers like a plethora of things. It's not just addiction, it's life issues, it's all this kind of stuff. But as often as people share their testimony, it tends to be the case that if the words rock bottom is used, that there is this like 180 turnaround that happens. And that we see that most often, I think, with people that didn't grow up in the church. People that do grow up, like I grew up in the church, and most of the people that I know that grew up in the church went one of two ways. Either we stayed involved and like our faith is still meaningful to us, or we grew up and thought that all the church stuff was just a load of garbage. And so now
that kind of happened to me.
Yeah, when we get jaded,
it was a lot of the judgy moms I didn't like, and then I ended up finding out they were not wrong on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, as soon as you had kids,
and also I'm flawed too, so I should cut people some slack.
So you have this experience with God in this aggressive kind of lamentation and prayer, and you're just showered with this like grace and forgiveness. What happens? Not you say you made a complete 180 at that point. What happens with your career? Like, how do you look at what you had been doing before that to what you're doing now, and how does that change the trajectory of your comedy and your career? That's what, because you had said you had some moments of success. You were on Conan O'Brien Show and stuff like that before this happens. Like you were an up and coming star in the eyes of a lot of the people in show business. So what happens at that moment? How does your career trajectory change?
After I had my encounter with God, I almost instantly became a multimillionaire.
Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. You and Deion Sanders.
And you can be too.
What church do you go to?
Prosperity gospel.
Yeah, I'd like to donate $7 to you so that I can be a millionaire also.
No, it took a lot.
If you just pray this one prayer, God, what the F are you doing? That'll make you a multimillionaire.
Check your bank account.
It's exactly how it worked for Solomon.
No, I had a lot. I had a lot of. Just because you still have to reap what you sowed.
Right.
I instantly, as soon as I stopped smoking meth, 3 weeks later, I was a school bus driver.
Nice.
So starting low.
I had to.
It's kind of an insult. I didn't mean it that way,
right.
but it's coming from being a stand-up comedian on Conan O'Brien to starting. It's definitely starting over, right?
I moved in with my parents,
drove bus.
And I became a school bus driver. Had to get a regular job. Really, really left drop. That was December of 2018 when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I moved back to Tulsa, got a regular job, and just got plugged into my church down there, Church on the Move in Tulsa. I don't know if you know. But I was involved. I got in 3 small groups.
What's the name of it again?
I was listening to 5 Tim Keller podcasts for sermons a day. I was hungry for everything involving the Bible and the gospel. I was just enamored with it, and it was a long way back. Not that I'm back now, just because I got married. I mean, isn't it funny about life? Like, no matter where you're at in life, whatever you accomplish, there's something that makes you go I made it. Yeah. You know what I mean? It took 4 years to get here, but God isn't done yet. There's a lot. I'm still not done. I'm an ongoing project.
Yeah, and there is a lot of that. Like, you get to a place and you're like, I finally made it. And then you celebrate for a second on this one mountaintop, and then you look over and you're like, oh, the goalpost just moved.
Yeah, and then someone accuses you of having banker's hours and your day's ruined.
Right? So you move back home, you drive a school bus, and then you end up, listening to a lot of podcasts and stuff, investing in your faith. What gets you back into doing stand-up?
I would say I kind of needed some time away.
Right.
So I did a few shows here and there. And then COVID happened. So we're talking all of 19, 20, 21. I did very few shows. And then I taped my late 21, I shot my dry bar special.
Okay.
And it's been fun getting back into churches.
Yeah.
Getting into church comedy. because they're not club comedy. Man, I'm too old. I'm too old to be doing comedy clubs, man. It's I'll do Acme in Minneapolis. That's my favorite club. That's always been my favorite club.
Why?
But this is smart crowds. Great. It's a great club. Low ceiling.
In Minneapolis?
Minneapolis is one of the best comedy towns out there.
Really?
That's awesome.
That's cool. I wouldn't have thought of Minneapolis. I know they're really known for their music scene. Their music scene's incredible.
And their towers.
For the mall,
there's no
maybe.
towers.
Yeah, no towers.
I don't know what I'm thinking. Twin Cities? Is that what
Yeah,
it's
the
called?
Twin Cities. Yeah.
The Twin Cities.
Yeah,
that's what you're thinking.
not the Twin Towers, man. Not for the last 20 years.
Which is also in New York.
Yeah.
Or was.
Anyway.
Moving on.
So yeah, I didn't realize that Minneapolis was such a good town for comedy. You said Acme is so what is low ceilings at a club? Why is that a positive?
First of all, cold weather cities are the best comedy towns.
Really?
Because there's nothing else to do, so people they tend to be great comedy.
That makes sense. Yeah,
Low ceilings are arguably maybe the biggest thing about a comedy venue.
Huh.
If you have a giant cavernous airplane hangar of a room,
so like having a special at Red Rocks is just you're the bottom of the barrel.
I mean, people do it. Big names do it.
Yeah, he's just firing shots at Bill Burr right now.
Burt Kreischer.
Yeah.
No, please continue.
There's a reason why, Robin Williams performed at Acme in his last days. Because,
really?
It's known as one of the best rooms. Low ceiling. If people hear other people laughing, it makes them more free to laugh. Whereas if they don't hear it, they feel like, oh, I don't want to be unlike everyone else.
Well,
go ahead.
I think Dimitri Martin had a point about that he said the rooms that are the biggest fire hazards make for the best comedy.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Small rooms tripping over cords.
Yeah,
low ceilings.
When you talk about a place like Acme, we've gotten the opportunity to talk to several people who have done dry bar specials. That room that they record in seems like it is a big room.
It is.
So
it is.
What's that like doing a dry bar special in a room that's that size?
It's like
I know. And
my dry bar special is about to come out. It's a wonderful venue. I had a great time. It's a great time. It's the best show ever. Great crowd. Wonderful people.
They get good crowds in there.
Right. Do you
they
feel
get good comedy crowds there?
Do you feel really accomplished when you get a good laugh in a room like that versus when you do in a smaller room? Is that because I know the energy is different, but is there a sense of sort of momentum? I'll say this.
The big room, there's just different types of rooms. I've done these. There's nothing like doing a 1,500 seat venue,
right? Where
it's packed. It doesn't matter how big the ceiling is because the acoustics are so good in there.
Yeah,
there's something magical about a theater, and there's also something magical about a tiny room where everyone's packed in tight. I don't know.
And Robin Williams did the Genie, who's magical full circle boom.
Nice.
That wasn't nice. That was terrible.
But I'm looking forward to my dry bar special coming out, and it will be out within 3 or 4 months, something like that. It's good. It'll be a good special.
Cool.
Okay, so
we're looking forward to it.
So that dry bar special happened you said you recorded it in 21. So we're hoping early 2023, kind of the first quarter, sometime is when it's slotted to be released. What were you doing leading up to the dry bar special? Had you gone back out on the road? Were you starting to do comedy regularly again? Or was dry bar going through some things and they're like, look, this is a guy that's really funny. Let's track him down and let's, give him a shot.
During the pandemic, dry bar, I think dry bar made a lot of money during the pandemic.
Oh, no doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because everybody was at home.
People were just looking for any content to watch. And dry bar did very well.
Especially anything funny.
So because they were making money hand over fist, I think they said, they were like, we need more content. So they started going to come on, we need to shoot more. So they started shooting a whole bunch of new episodes. And it was in the worst part of the pandemic, they they asked me if I would submit. And I was like, I haven't been on stage in like 2 years. I don't want to, I've been cooped up in my house. I don't feel like doing that right now. And then they came back again like 6 months later. And I was like, all right, I'll submit. And so I submitted. And I really had not been doing much at all. I was able to go to Tulsa and I got to do some warm-up shows in Tulsa at my old church there. And I think like 4 or 5 shows there. It was great to be able to warm up. But yeah, you're right. There was not much opportunity to do it during the pandemic. So it was a little tricky.
What's the submission process for that look like? Because like when I think of, so we know each other because we started playing in a band together, and like a musical submission process is you give them something that's prepackaged that you've recorded, and you pay to have it recorded, you pay for it to be mixed and mastered, and it's probably the best that your band has ever sounded, as long as the engineers
Right.
are good, right?
Yeah.
And then that's what you send everybody. So then if you show up and are terrible, it's no skin off your nose because they booked you and they did all of that. But we're giving somebody the best that we've got whenever we go and submit and send out press kits. What's the submission process like for a comic? Are you giving them stuff from like when you were on Conan, or is it more like the New Norm special where you're just like kind of telling jokes into a camera, just showing them a little bit about like what you've got?
So here's what it was. It was when it was in 2019, I did a really good show, and there happened to be my friend Adam Bush, who is also coming out with a Dry Bar special very soon. He had a really good camera and a really good setup, crowd mic'd and everything at this one show we did in 2019. So when they asked, do you have anything to send for submission? I just edited together 3 clips from that show.
Nice.
And they instantly said yes. So that happened to be I happened to have a really good set in the can to show them.
Yeah. And is this some of the stuff that's on your website right now?
It's when I look like about 30 pounds heavier. Yeah, I think some of it's on my website. Yeah.
Yeah, because the videos on your site
right
are
after
good.
I stopped smoking meth, I kept drinking for a little while.
Right.
And I started eating a lot more. So I ballooned up to I'm at 200 now. I ballooned up to 245.
Ooh.
And yeah, that's what they don't tell you when they tell you should stop smoking meth. You're gonna gain some weight.
Yeah,
They always leave that part out.
Yeah, that meth that metabolism goes away as soon as you
you get the methless 45.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I do want to talk about you and Kristen are going on a little bit of a tour after getting married.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That I love the name. I love the concept of. Please tell us what the name of your tour is shortly after you guys are getting married.
So our feeling is that a lot of married people,
Yes.
they have problems, right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Preach.
And the reason that they have these problems is because they're too close to it. They don't.
Oh, okay.
They can't see it because they can't see the whole field because they're in it, right?
Right.
We're not married yet, but we already kind of have a lot of the answers. And we're very good at dating, which leads us to believe we're going to be very good at being married. Which
It's typically a good indicator.
2 plus
yeah.
2 means you're definitely going to be good at giving marital advice.
Of course.
For sure.
Right out of the gate.
So it's the Fix Your Marriage comedy tour. We're going to it'll be where we both do sets, and then we're going to come out together and we're going to read questions from the audience and good questions from the past about we've been married for 10 years. We got married in our late 30s, we're having this problem. We're going to be like, well, first of all, you got married way too young.
First problem. Boom.
Yeah, that's it.
Answer.
Yeah.
Right there.
What's the answer?
Yeah, yeah. You got married way too young.
Sorry
about you.
Look. I know that you don't have all of the answers to this yet because you guys haven't gotten married. But
Right.
but I agree.
I think
you guys are gonna know
day 2 of marriage. They will have
you're gonna
all of the
you're
answers.
gonna have it.
Yeah.
I agree, and I love the name. I love the name.
Okay,
it's a great
so
concept.
as you guys are kicking this, like, how does this idea come about for this particular title? And I've loved, you guys have a minute promo that's on your site, and Kristen's promoted as well. It's absolutely hysterical. My wife and I were watching it this afternoon, and she's like, "If only this was
Every
around
time I think
3
about
years
it,
ago
I
when we
giggle.
got married." Yeah. So, like, how did the idea for doing a kind of a tandem tour come up? Because that sounds kind of intimidating.
It sounds like you guys are cheating the system, and you're getting a free
honeymoon?
extended honeymoon
By booking a tour
by
afterwards.
booking. Hey, we're going to
Yeah.
go to all these places and and fix people's marriages and tell them how to do it, and
Yeah.
get to stay in
Well,
hotels.
we see all these comedians going and talking about like, oh, I don't understand the differences between men and women. You know, like, I can't understand my wife. I can't understand my husband. We're going to be like, we do understand.
I know exactly what he's thinking right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we, I don't know, honestly, we just really want to work together. And when we came up with that idea, it just seemed like a really great template to something that church date nights and whatnot would
It's an awesome
would be
idea.
interested in.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we had Kristen, as the single homeschooled accordion player that she was, play our Valentine's Day banquet last year, and she brought down the house. But she started off with a series of, like, I don't know why in the world they wanted a single awkward homeschooled accordion player to come and to do the Valentine's Day thing, because I don't know anything about marriage. And here, like a year later, she's a marriage.
your marriage tour.
She's a marriage expert.
brilliant.
So it's good to get to see that
Brilliant,
evolution.
and you guys have definitely hacked the system with the
for sure.
Let's work together. We're in love with each other. Let's work together.
You told us a little bit about driving school bus, and you can see some of the
Or
bits
we're
and
back to
stuff
that,
you he drove bus, and so there's some bits and things that you've worked out talking about that. I'm curious as to what you're able to source for onstage material from being a school bus driver, because I've got a handful of memories from the times that I rode the school bus.
Oh yeah.
Of things that
I'm in.
that happened that I'm like,
I've
this.
never ridden on a school bus.
Oh, dude, it's
I also was homeschooled.
Rich kid?
yeah,
Homeschooled.
Yes, check that box.
Oh, you're
And-
homeschooled. Okay.
Yeah,
Private, and then that didn't work out very well. Homeschooled.
yeah, because of rich kid.
I was difficult and rich.
Yeah. So how much source material are you able to get from driving a school bus?
Oh, it's been fun. I mean, yeah. Well, honestly, I still do it right now in the Atlanta area.
Okay, that's
And
a safe way to say it.
After I was gonna say the school, I thought no. After having done it for about 2 years, I'm starting to think these kids don't have any respect for me whatsoever. This is
That's giving me a lot to think about.
this is a legitimate question that I've received. They'll say, "Hey, bus driver."
Oh,
They
nice.
refuse to learn my name. They will not learn my name. It's always, "Hey, bus driver," because I'm the bus driver.
Yeah.
Right.
They'll go. They said this. They go, "Do you sleep on the bus?"
You just have a little bucket.
And
you go TT in.
And I want to be like, I'm not a vagrant. Like, why? What makes you think just because I drive the bus that you just assume I live in it?
It's all these TikToks about the RV families. They're like, oh, he must just live here.
Do you eat children that get left past 3:30?
They can't even believe that I drive other grades. They'll be like, high school kids were in this bus? Like, they think I live my whole life to just go, when do I get to go pick them up again? You know?
That is fantastic.
But when they asked me when they asked me the question, do you sleep on the bus? I wanted to be like, that's a stupid thing. Are you serious? No way. Are you really asking that? But then I noticed that the whole bus got real quiet.
Oh, they're all wanting the answer.
Because somebody had asked like a really good question. And I really wanted to know. I think my theory is that I think in their minds, they know I sleep in the bus. They just hope it's not where they sit, you know.
It's like, oh, this seat's a little warm. You think the bus driver slept here?
You know, I do have to say I have kind of daydreamed a little bit about, maybe when I get older, retiring and
driving bus.
Driving a bus.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it for the exact reason that he started out with, is that they have no respect.
That's true
whatsoever.
I
don't think I could do that because as the bus driver, unfortunately, you don't have a lot of authority other than to like slam on the brakes whenever the kid that's annoying you is moving. Up and walking around.
Look,
right?
This is what I'm thinking. I think location matters, right?
So where are you going to go where the kids will respect you?
If you're inner city in Atlanta, maybe not, but maybe rural Texas. I don't know.
Oh,
some farming kids. I don't know.
Yeah, no doubt. The farm kids are going to have doubtful.
They might be
no, because it doesn't matter where you
respectful.
are. Like there's still kids. There's still, and the thing is it's a group of kids.
But I'm not
with
bad
no
with kids.
parental supervision.
That's true.
Yeah. So do you? I would be tempted. I'll put it this way. I would be tempted to make up an entire story of where I slept on the bus. I would start just like bringing a pillow and just like keeping it up on the dash. Like, are you messing with the kids at all? Or are you trying to at least to like give them honest answers and encourage them?
I'll tell you this story. This was one kid like a month ago. He walked up. This is a completely different story. He walks up to me and he walks right up to me and he goes, bleh, and he throws up all over right next to me. And he goes, sorry. And he walked back to his seat.
He didn't go home?
I think later on he went home, but I can't go take him home then. The stench in the
oh man
was so thick.
So do you then just like go to, is there like something you can like sprinkle? Like you got like a can of kitty litter that you go and sprinkle on it like the janitors at the school do, or like
sawdust.
we did?
If you pull up to the school and you ask for a janitor, the janitor will say, that's not my job.
Whoa. So like how early
I'm a school janitor, not a bus janitor.
How early in the route was this? And like how many kids now are having to dodge spew?
So they're all so non-observant that the kids in the back don't know. So it's like even kids like 5 rows back, when they're getting out of the bus, they're like, oh, like, how did you not notice this huge puddle, and they're walking around it. So it's like over and over again. It's, oh, what happened? Somebody threw up. Oh, somebody threw up. Oh, over and over and over again. I'm having to explain the same thing.
This is just a Pokemon. Just get out of here. Let's talk registry.
Okay.
I want to know what items on the wedding registry that you were interested in.
Get him, Daffy.
Well, here's the thing. Like when you're getting married, I think we both went into it with like, we don't care about stuff. Like we just want a really cool honeymoon.
Right.
We just put.
You're going to want some stuff. You're gonna want a Vitamix.
That's what everybody says. Yeah,
you're gonna end up.
And everybody has a huge opinion about our wedding.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt.
I've got opinions too.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't really.
But what happened
except your
was
mother-in-law, she has no
put
opinions.
on our registry. We put on our registry, top choice, honeymoon fund.
Right.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the honey pot.
And everybody and their mom approached us saying like, that's a bad idea. people are going to not give it the honeymoon fund, and then they'll just bring you something that they think that you would want. And
like a Vitamix.
We had so many people say that we started putting stuff on our registry. And it's like, there are things we want, sure.
Right.
But still, what we really want is honeymoon fund. That's why it says top choice.
Absolutely.
I dig it.
That's what we want the most.
Well, that's also the feedback that Kirsten and I got. Because I had a bunch of stuff, and this is before my wife realized that she hated everything that I owned. Because like that was a process in and of itself. Like she had been hanging out at my house for months and months and months, and then we register and we did the same thing. We put the honeymoon as the top thing, and there's the little honey pot fund, and this is the cruise we want to go on, and you can give to these excursions, and you can buy all this stuff. And so people were like, "Yeah, we'll do that." So a handful. I
want to buy a spatula.
Yeah, not only did Dan, you didn't even bother to show up to my wedding, so whatever. So we get to this place where people are saying, all of that, and they're like, you need to pick some things, and Kirsten's like, we really don't need anything. Lucas has a lot of stuff. But it wasn't until she started to go through my things where she realized that my dishes were about to become our dishes. Mm-hmm. And then she registered. Oh. Yeah, she registered for a bunch of stuff because she's like, I'm not eating off of this. I was like, why? Well, all of this stuff needs to match. Also, why? Like this all works. Each one of these pieces has a story behind it. Would you like to know how I curated all of these coffee mugs and Tupperware plates? But she didn't have any interest.
So maybe that leads us into controlled rowdiness.
I think what this leads us into is a link in the show notes where you can go and donate to Isaac and Kristen's honeymoon fund. And get them the things that they really want as a thank you for coming onto the show and providing great content.
And also, they probably need like some really good hot pads.
No,
we do not need that. No.
Okay, so what? So you said that you have done a registry now. Did you put any items on the registry?
I have. I picked the coffee pot.
Nice.
Kristen doesn't really care about coffee like I care about coffee.
No, she only cares about burritos.
She cares about water right now while in the cutting phase, like we discussed.
Yeah.
She. So we have my brand of coffee on there, mm-hmm. which is blonde Starbucks blonde roast.
Nice. Did you get the veranda or the willow?
Veranda.
Okay.
Yeah, and the coffee pot. I like the we need a couch. I'm for that. I think. See, what I was joking about the other night was somebody asked me how the wedding planning is going when Kristen was there with me. And I said, well, see, the thing about weddings is it's pretty easy. They pretty much just plan themselves.
They do. Yeah.
Yeah. And for my opinion, it kind of feels that way because every time I check back in, it's like, wow, look at all this stuff that got done.
I found myself calling my mother-in-law and saying, hey, what's going on with my wedding? That's it. I've got, this isn't going to be, we don't actually get any part in this. Tell me how many guests are we allowed to invite to our wedding?
Wow.
Well,
man, you've got a bright future ahead with getting married.
No doubt.
The Fix Your Marriage Tour and your Dry Bar
special coming out in Q1.
That's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, I'm excited about it, and I'm excited what God's doing in our life, and I love to share my testimony, and I'm really excited about getting way further into comedy, and there's a lot to look forward to.
And maybe if after their wedding they decide to move to the DFW area, I might be able to get hey, you want a practice show on Valentine's Day at our church? Just warm you up.
And also, we want to go skeet shooting?
Yeah, we got to make that happen. Well, Isaac, we end all of our shows with a segment that we call Controlled Rowdiness. Now, these are just going to be a series of rapid-fire questions, which you can answer with as long or as short an answer as you would like to. Expect nothing from us by way of response or reply. And to get us started, hey, Big Flip, what's up? General Grease.
Well, Isaac Witty, what is the best dinosaur?
Best dinosaur? Yeah. The pterodactyl. This is rapid fire?
It's
Well,
rapid fire ish.
I'm trying to decide if I want to agree with that or not.
because it's not on land.
I accept that. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't want to agree with it because
Yeah.
it's not on land.
And also, dinosaurs may not have been real.
Yeah, okay, like birds.
Birds. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So, toupee, hair plugs, hair club for men. Which one? Which way do you go?
Gosh, I would go. What I always do, what I always say is that you can take, like, people always say there's ways out for being bald, right? You can take pills, but I don't like the idea of that because side effects.
Right.
You can wear a toupee. Everybody makes fun of you.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what I do. I'm not doing it right now, but most of the time I do this. I wear a hat.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right. So that way, no one knows that I'm wearing a toupee.
Brilliantly done.
Excellent answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Good luck making fun of me when you can't even see it.
Yeah. You don't even know.
And it gives you an extra attachment point for the toupee. You just sew it right into the hat so it looks more authentic.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So,
Okay.
the upcoming nuptials.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah.
3 things is Kristen Weber going to get rid of immediately of yours after getting married?
Oh, this is a good question.
Oh, man. I think, what would she get rid of? I'm looking around. She's not going to like my lamps. Yeah, she's not going to like my, I feel like she's going to want to get rid of a lot of my shoes because I'm a bit of a hoarder with shoes.
Okay.
There's something about, like, even if shoes look really terrible and they're completely worn out, I'm still like, I might need those again.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
They take up a lot of space.
I also was a shoe hoarder.
Oh, okay.
I
My candles, because Kristen has a very sensitive nose. I do not.
Okay.
So I like candles that have the more
masculine.
intense of a smell.
All right. Like
what? Yeah.
yeah. Like what
examples.
sense? Yeah. Give us an example.
Oh, let's see here.
I'm ready. Show and tell.
Like wood.
Let's see. This must have been on sale. Spooky spider. Cider?
Oh, spooky cider.
Spooky spider.
Yeah,
cider.
I wouldn't like that one either.
It smells like
I like-
cobwebs,
yeah, I like-
horse
I like
face
mahogany.
witches, and
Cedar wood.
And then I have sugared cinnamon apple.
do you
I have these two.
Hey, at least
do
it's
you light
Yankee.
these
It's a good
candles?
brand.
Do you light these candles in your house at the same time so that you've got like competing scent zones?
I do.
Yeah. Okay. So this was
It's
something
kinda
I was
my
alerted
mor-
to that I
it's
was
my
not allowed to
morning-
do anymore.
I think you've come across the number one answer
Yes.
that she's going to get rid of is your candles. I agree.
Yeah, for sure. My wife had a serious complaint because I would
I
would
have
have
an
like several
approved-
candles that I liked, and I would light them in different areas of the house. And she's like, "We're having one candle per season, so that I don't like having different scent zones in the house."
I have an approved list of scents.
Well, see,
Whether
like,
it's Febreze or
okay-
candles,
it's
there's an
okay-
approved
An
list.
approved list. Yeah.
It's okay now for me to joke about this because it's been gone for so long. But I put so much stuff up my nose over the years. I can't smell like she can. You know?
Right.
That's true.
So due to 2 decades of 15 years of cocaine use, I can't smell. So I want an intense thing so I can kind of smell it.
Do you think
Could
that
could she beat you in a jiu-jitsu fight?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Do you think that, since you brought it up, the amount of chemically deviated septum that you have is going to affect you with the Texas allergies whenever you guys move to Tejas?
Ooh. Oh, that's a real point.
Man, the heat is so intense in Texas. When I was down there, and I think it might.
Yeah.
It's going to be something to get used to.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Apparently the Native Americans in this area used to call it the land with the bad air because allergies are so bad during the summer. Yep.
Batman versus SpongeBob.
Oh, what?
Batman.
What is that?
That's a giant cat.
How many other cats has that one eaten?
He's a big boy.
This
is Georgie.
Georgie is an enormous
I've
kitten.
had him. Check this out. You'll like this.
Okay, winner. I think that's
What Make-A-Wish kid got to draw that portrait?
wonderful portrait.
Maybe I should put that as the number one thing she'll want to get rid of.
There's no way. That's the thing that belongs like behind your toilet, so that whenever your guests come in, they're like that's what they have to look at whenever they're,
Man,
as Stanley said, TTing.
man, good job.
That's awesome.
Excellent use of the cat prop, and then pivoting to the portrait.
Okay, so I do have one question from your fiance. I sent her a message and said, "Hey, we're gonna do controlled rowdiness with Isaac. We're gonna let you have the ender. What do you want to know?" And she wants to know whether you're planning on keeping your car clean after you get married.
That is so not a fair question because I've seen her car filthy too. I'm very defensive about that because when we first started dating, I used to clean my car all the time. And now that we're engaged, I don't feel the need to do that all the time.
Right.
Yeah, well, you're a busy man.
Yeah, and
Look, you
I got a
work all
lot
day.
going on.
And
And
just
you've gotta-
because you want to go to Jersey Mike's and get a sandwich doesn't mean you necessarily have time to stop and throw it away.
yeah, that's exactly right.
I'm very triggered.
She's always like, wow, your car used to be way cleaner than this. And I'm like, your car is filthy too.
My excuse with my wife was always, yeah, you used to not ride in my car a lot. Because what would happen is the passenger seat of I used to have a Camaro whenever we first got married. And the passenger seat of the Camaro.
That was the dumping ground, and then you'd clean
Dude,
it up.
it was all water bottles. It was half-drank water bottles from whenever she would bring a water bottle.
You know, I get this
She
too.
would
I get a
she'd
lot
drink
of flack.
half of a water bottle and she would just throw it in the floorboard. And then there's like this,
You know what? This should be one of your topics in the Fix Your Marriage
Yeah,
tour. Is
absolutely.
telling the women that look, men
Reusable
we
water
work hard,
bottles.
and also we're not the only ones that ride in our cars. You make us drive, and then you leave your stuff in the corner, and I got to clean that too, and that's my fault.
Yeah, listen, don't tell me you give a crap about the sea turtles when I can look over the passenger side of my vehicle and it's just I'm up to my eyeballs in half-drank water bottles. So
Also, 96% of that comes from China.
no, my wife's garbage comes
4%
right
though.
from her hands. So, hey,
The ocean garbage is what I was talking
Isaac,
about.
man, thanks so much for coming on the show. Why don't you tell our audience where it is that they can find you on social media and how they can figure out what dates they can come see you and Kristen for
to get their
fix
marriages
your marriage,
fixed.
so they can fix their marriage.
Well, you can find I'm IsaacWitty.net.
Nice.
Right?
No way.
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. And yeah, that's I need to
Who
that's
owns
it. And we're going to be
IsaacWitty.com?
kicking out a lot of content over the next few months, so keep your eyes peeled for that and book us at your next church event. And we're moving to Texas in February. So
IsaacWitty.com is currently up for grabs.
is it really?
It is.
You should go get it right now.
Maybe that will be our wedding present to you, because we bought IsaacWitty.com
And it just goes
You
to
mean like
Kristen Weber's
it's not
website.
bought by someone trying to charge $1,000 for it?
I mean, it could be. I don't know. Right
It
now,
could
it's
be.
asking me how many T-shirts I want to buy.
No.
We will
Yeah,
find
last
this
time
We'll
out.
do some research.
We're going to launch a full investigation.
Either that or one of the two listeners that we have, Tina Ryder, is going to buy IsaacWitty.com and sell it to you for $5.
or we can give
for
you
about tree fitting.
or we can give you baconoffice.net.
Nope. Isaac, dude, thanks so much for coming on the show, man. We appreciate it.
Hey, thank you guys.
Isaac freaking Witty. Oh, yeah. So, IsaacWitty.com, still available. I love, first off, thanks for putting us in touch with him, Kristen. And I think it was a fun interview. I
had a blast.
I'm really interested in like his journey from like being a comedian, getting to the point where he's having a lot of success, and then hitting, like you
crippling,
said,
crippling addiction,
rock bottom.
Yeah.
And now kind of on the way back up is really cool. His stuff is really funny. The stuff that he's got out there. I'm really excited to see his dry bar special.
I was reminded of Jeff Allen a lot. When he was talking about his journey a little bit. And Jeff is a hugely successful comedian.
It's interesting to me how many people kind of follow a path similar to this that end up in, doing clean comedy, right? Like Jeff, we had mentioned Brandon Young was talking about the same thing. Like he worked really blue until he
got into baseball cards.
Yeah, until he got into baseball cards. No, until like he got serious about his faith. But also like Josh Phillips. Josh Phillips was like that he was at this place where he was doing a lot of blue work, and then he's now transitioned to doing clean comedy because he felt that conviction. And with Isaac, his story just in general, I think is so intriguing because of that. And I love the rawness of that conversation that he had with God. Like he hears this thing about kids getting hurt, and that is the moment where God just like shows him grace is such a unexpected sort of turn in that whole, I don't know, that whole scene. Yeah. I guess as you're kind of just picturing it in your mind's eye, what else happening there? It's wild.
Again, I think everyone can probably relate to that to some degree of not understanding why injustice is allowed to go on. And my wife has been really sick, and I've had some of those very similar conversations.
Yeah, I will tell you that even though I'm a pastor and our church family's been great, and we know that God is in control of everything, that there were definitely times when Levi was in the NICU, especially when we were worried that he had gotten an upper respiratory virus. And, they're poking him, and, it took him 7 tries to get the IV in, and he's screaming and crying, and now they got to poke his heel half a dozen times for blood draws, and they got to put a catheter in him because, you can't get a baby that at this point is still, even though he's 3 weeks old, he's still 6 weeks premature. He's not going to pee in a cup on demand, right? Like all of those things are happening, and Kirsten and I are just like, we're asking these questions of like, okay, we know that we're put in these situations because they're supposed to give us perseverance, but like, why is this happening? Mm-hmm. And that it's in that moment of questioning when at rock bottom, that God really showed himself to be bigger than all of that and gave grace and forgiveness to Isaac is such a cool thing. I love his and Kirsten's story.
I know I had to keep checking
so
myself.
So rough, like, yep, Kristen. But yeah, him and Kristen's story is so cool, and I'm really excited to get to see the upcoming tour.
Yeah, I hope that we get to share a couple of squirts and some hamburger hot dogs around the campfire pretty soon.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be absolutely amazing. You guys make sure that you check out everything in the show notes to go and to follow Isaac and to see what is going on with the How to Fix Your Marriage tour and with his new Dry Bar special coming out in the first quarter of 2023. Isaac, thanks so much for being on the show. Thank you guys for watching. Y'all stay hard, keep jamming, and we'll see you.
Hey, this is Isaac Witty, school bus driver and stand-up comedian. And this is why you should never watch Reverend and the Reprobate.
Hi, I'm Isaac.
And I'm Kristen.
And we're here to share with you an exciting new comedy show that you can use at your next marriage event.
So many mistakes are being made by married people, especially those who have been married a long time.
In fact, it seems like the longer people have been married, the more mistakes they tend to make.
Which is why after we get married in February, we will be launching the Fix Your Marriage Comedy Tour.
We were really good at dating, and we know we're going to be really good at being married.
After one premarital counseling session, they told us we should be teaching the class.
We've never even had a fight.
We have gone days without talking to each other.
Here's some of the exciting topics that you can expect us to tackle about marriage.
If it sounds like we know a lot about marriage now, just wait till we get married.